to The Hypnotist, the show that gives you inside access to cutting-edge hypnosis with real clients facing genuine issues. Brought to you by the hypnotherapist demanded by celebrities, CEOs, and even royalty, Adam Cox. These recordings took place live from Adam's clinic in London's world-famous Harley Street. So, get yourself comfortable and enjoy today's episode of The Hypnotist.
I'm always looking for ways to show my cat how much I love her. And with Fancy Feast gems, I can pamper her whenever I want with a savory gravy on top of a gourmet mousse pâté. The pyramid shape makes serving simple, so all I have to do is peel and plate to make mealtime feel extra fancy. And with 2 entrees in every pack, it's easy to turn every day into the extraordinary. Fancy Feast gems.
Hi, it's Adam here, and you're about to listen to a hypnosis session all about IBS relief, but also anxiety relief. And I was working with a client that had symptoms of IBS, so kind of pain, discomfort, issues with the gut and the digestive system. And that was creating the idea of limitations. And they had certain thoughts about making their life smaller and doing less, even though when they were at their most adventurous, and this client was an entrepreneur, they had taken on risk without knowing if it was going to work out. And when they were in that mindset, they had a very resourceful feeling. So this is about activating a resourceful feeling, easing the symptoms of IBS, and actually helping them to feel more resourceful and more confident about their future. And in particular, the kind of future that they wanted that would be compelling. So a new house, a new life, a new quality of health and vitality is all for them. Now, if you have IBS, it's worth knowing that IBS is one of the things that the UK regulatory body that gives permission for doctors and pharmacies to issue medication, they actually recommend hypnotherapy for IBS. So if you have symptoms of IBS, hopefully this session will be useful for you, but just be aware that some of the suggestions are only going to be relevant to the client that I was working with and not necessarily relevant to you. So if you like the idea of using hypnotherapy for IBS or to reduce anxiety, there will be a link in the description where you can schedule a free consultation call to explore working with me. For now though, find a quiet, comfortable place where you won't be disturbed, relax, and enjoy the session. Take a deep breath in, and on the outward breath, allow your eyelids to close as you release any feelings of tension. Breathing in relaxation and exhaling any stress, any worries. That's it. As you breathe in, imagine breathing in healing white light. Breathing in that healing white light. And as you exhale, just imagine any emotions that could be playing a role in any lack of energy, any anxiety, any physiological symptoms. Just get a sense that that is leaving your body as you exhale. Breathe in that healing white light, make it as bright as you can. And as you exhale, imagine something dark or shadowy leaving your body, giving you a sense that you're breathing in what you need and exhaling anything that might be making you feel a way you don't want to feel anymore. And the deeper you breathe, the more relaxed you feel. Allow your diaphragm to be activated, breathing from your belly rather than your chest. And you might notice the rhythm of your breathing, rising and falling, breathing in that healing white light, exhaling any tension or limitations, as though each exhale carries away any tightness, overthinking, any worries or fears. That's it. As you begin to drift further inward and downward into a place of calm curiosity. Because you've been here before. You've been to that space where your mind becomes focused, creative, and resourceful. And even as your body rests, your subconscious begins to awaken. And maybe it's ready to remember who you really are and what you're capable of. You are not any symptoms, and you are not any situations. Feel that you are reawakening who you really are. Ambitious, tenacious, enthusiastic. And I want you to imagine swimming in a warm stream. No rocks, completely safe. And this stream winds down the side of a hill. And as I count down from 10 to 1, you will imagine while swimming down that warm stream that you're drifting into a deep, relaxing place where change happens. 10, starting to swim now, feeling your shoulders drop. And 9, your stomach softening and relaxing. 8, your thoughts slowing down. 7, drifting, swimming, floating deeper. And 6, into that peaceful flow of breath. At 5, halfway down the hill in that stream, imagine your nervous system resetting. That's it. 4, feeling calm waves of relaxation through your belly and your chest. Continuing to drift down in that stream. 3, lighter now. 2, drifting into serenity. And 1, arriving at the deepest state of calm awareness. And I want you to imagine that the stream ends in a warm pool, like hot springs coming up from beneath. And I want you to consider this warm pool filled with minerals that are rejuvenating, that calm your nervous system, that reactivate feelings of health. And maybe you've spent time in a warm natural spring before, and if so, allow those memories to remind you of how that feels. Or maybe you can just imagine it out in nature under blue skies, fresh clean air, there in that relaxing pool of rejuvenation. And while you're in that pool, I want you to think of just one thing in your life that you're truly grateful for. Maybe it's something about your health that is in optimal health and you're grateful for that. Maybe it's the feeling of security or freedom you have based on years of hard work. Maybe you're grateful for your mind, your intelligence, your cognitive capabilities. Maybe it's something else. But as you think of that singular thing to be grateful for, notice the feeling of gratitude within your body. Some people feel it in their heart, or somewhere else in their chest, or somewhere else. But imagine that warm, glowing feeling of gratitude. And I want you to imagine that warm, glowing feeling of gratitude has the ability to melt away anxieties and worries in the same way that a natural fireplace would naturally melt away any ice or snow nearby. Feel the gratitude make it warmer, glow brighter. And imagine that glowing sensation going down into your gut. Some people consider the gut a second brain. And I wonder what would happen if any anxieties and worries there in your gut were thawing and melting away from that warm glow of gratitude. And as that sensation in the gut subsides and the gratitude glows even brighter, just imagine your nervous system recalibrating, that your vagus nerve is enabling your whole body to calm down, that vigilance and worries are being replaced with gratitude and acceptance of hope and optimistic positivity. And let's shift that glowing, warm, golden light from wherever it is for gratitude down into the center of your abdomen, and allow it to represent peace, balance, and harmony within your body. Each breath feeds that light, allowing it to spread through your stomach, your intestines, your solar plexus, but also relaxing the muscles, soothing the nerves, sending your unconscious and your physical body a message that you are safe. And you don't have to fight or control what happens inside your body, because calm isn't created through force. It's created through trust. And your gut and mind are in conversation. And as your mind becomes calm and confident, your body listens and responds. And the more peace you create in your thoughts, the more harmony you feel within your body. And now, just imagine those moments when your mind used to jump ahead to all the what ifs, the worst case scenarios, the tiny details magnified out of all proportion. And I wonder if you can see those thoughts as soap bubbles drifting through the air, fragile, transparent, dissolving easily when touched by light. And just imagine that each time you breathe out, another bubble bursts. Anxiety and worries and what-ifs burst like fragile bubbles, and what's left is clarity. Because you already know what it's like to live differently. Think of the business you've built. You didn't do that by avoiding risk, but by trusting yourself. By taking actions and learning from any failures or setbacks. You believed that problems could be solved not in advance, but as they appeared. And maybe you thrived when you allowed life to be a creative challenge rather than a threat. But that mindset hasn't gone. That mindset still lives within you. And imagine it waking up again. I want you to think of a time in your past when you had those resources more than any other. Ambition, enthusiasm, confidence, and passion. Imagine that version of you. See the posture, strong, open, upright. And maybe you can even observe how you sounded, the energy in your voice, the sparkle in your eyes. And I want you to step into that version of you and feel that way. Hear that confidence in the inner dialogue. That belief that you'll just find a way to make things work. And still feel that soothing, glowing energy there in your heart and your abdomen. A feeling of safety, a feeling of confidence, a feeling of, I've got this. Because that state of the past is not gone, it's just waiting for you. Waiting to be reactivated, to flow again through your nervous system. And as you merge with that version of yourself, when two separate parts become one, you can feel those qualities blending back into you now. The excitement of possibility, the thrill of creating something meaningful, the deep trust that you'll figure it out as you go. You've harnessed the resources of the past, but now think of the future, there in that warm, healing pool. I want you to imagine yourself perhaps 6 months, a year, maybe 2 years into the future. Imagine it as a 3-dimensional hologram. You can see that future. And I wonder if you can see a version of you living a healthy, vibrant life. Doing things that give you irrefutable evidence that in your future, your digestion is calm and reliable. That your sleep, in such a powerful, deep way, where you wake up refreshed, where your days begin with gratitude and end with satisfaction. And maybe you can even imagine the kind of home you're living in. Beautiful, serene perhaps. Imagine lots of natural light coming in. Then I want you to imagine this is a warm, safe, comforting space. But maybe also imagine a future where you don't need to work for money, but you work because of the stimulation, the challenge, and the fulfillment it brings. So see yourself doing work that feels fulfilling and enjoyable. And maybe that's helping entrepreneurs, or maybe it's helping those with needs that would benefit from your time, your energy, your emotion. But I want you to see this is work that is not done just for money. It's work that lights you up and gives you purpose and freedom. And in that future scene, look at your face. Maybe see yourself smiling, or with a peaceful posture, exuding the quiet confidence of someone who trusts life again. And then step into that future, feel how it would feel to be living in a home like that, doing work that feels fulfilling, living a life of connection. And imagine perhaps driving from that house to a nearby swimming pool, and imagine doing length after length, giving you more of those endorphins and the dopamine you get when you finish doing however many lengths you desired. I want you to imagine a future where you've returned to that healthy balance of vision and trust. A future where you take risks, just not reckless ones. A future where you're grounded but still dreaming. Calm and relaxed, but still stimulated in all the right ways. And each evening as you prepare for sleep, your body will remember this calm. Your gut will relax, your breathing will deepen, and your mind will quiet all by itself, knowing that there's nothing needed to solve, because sleep becomes your nightly meeting with peace. And any thoughts that seem like they're an exaggeration, a catastrophization, a part of your subconscious mind will rein those thoughts in, giving context, nuance, perspective, or useful comparisons, so that those waves never get so big, and as they subside, calm relaxation returns. And I want you to think of one thought recently that started off small and then catastrophized. And as you think it again, feel more in control. That as it starts to get that way, you can indeed dilute it, rein it in. It never gets a big worry. That's it. And when you feel you've got a glimpse of a wonderful future, let me know by nodding your head. That's it. And I want you to imagine what it would feel like to find a bed in that future house. Imagine it's approaching evening. Imagine putting your head on the pillow, your body under the duvet. And I want you to imagine one of two things can happen. That very soon as I count from 1 to 10, if you desire to awaken, you will awake. But if you desire to drift off into a wonderful deep sleep, you will imagine drifting off into sleep, into your future, a healthy, vibrant future, a fulfilling future, a future of balance and equilibrium. In which case, when I count to 10, you will drift off even deeper into a deep, rejuvenating, healthy sleep, only awakening when it's naturally time to awaken. Starting to count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Thank you so much for joining me on today's episode of The Hypnotist. If you've enjoyed this episode or got some value from it, please give it a 5-star rating and review. And maybe you know someone that would also benefit from this particular episode, in which case share the episode with them so they can also get the benefit too. And if you would like to listen to this episode where it's just the hypnosis, so no intro, no outro, no explanation, just the hypnosis and completely ad-free, there will be a link in the description where you can subscribe at a very low cost and only get access to the hypnosis. So if that's of interest, please check that out. Thank you again for being a regular listener of The Hypnotist, and I'll see you again soon for more.